Hey, what's up? This is Sports Truth, and I'm your host, Jordan Harris. So today we're going to be talking about the San Francisco 49ers. This is the team that everybody is concerned about. If you're a fan, you're probably close to panic mode, but today we're going to be talking about why you shouldn't be panicking right now. So, are there some things to be concerned about? I got to admit, yes, there's plenty of things to be concerned about, but you definitely shouldn't be in panic mode right now. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into it. When this team started this season, there were five things that I was curious about. So one of the things was what happens when this team gets behind. They were so used to playing with the lead. I think they won like 14 straight, 14 straight regular season games, something like that, which is crazy. But all through last year when Brock Purdy took over, and then the beginning of this season, they always had a lead. So I was like, I wonder what this team would do if they get behind. Like, would they panic? How do they respond to that? I also wonder what would happen if the run game didn't work because McCaffrey was leading the league he was leading the NFL in rushing yards. He scored in like 17 straight games, something crazy like that. Last year they had one of the best running games in the whole National Football League. So I was curious to see what happens if the run didn't work, the run game for them. Also, I wanted to see what happened if the defense didn't produce like they had been producing for the last couple of years. They've got one of the best pass rushers in the league in Bosa. They've got Warner, who's probably the best middle linebacker. They've got they got everybody. Their defense is crazy. They even added the guy Hargraves from the Eagles. So I wanted to see what happens if the defense wasn't producing like it had been. I also wondered what happened after the offense made a mistake because Brock Purdy has played like almost perfect football. His play actions always draw the defense in. He's able to throw over the top of that. He's really good at reading the defense before the snap, so he knows when to do a short, quick slant. He knows when to do a 15-yard post. Like he's been able to see that stuff before the snap. So he's been playing mistake-free football. I was really curious to see what would happen and how they would respond to actually making a mistake. And then the last thing, so the fifth thing I wanted to see was the kicker. So they replaced Robbie Gold, and you've probably heard the phrase "good as gold" because the dude seemed like he never missed. So since they went and drafted a rookie, I wanted to see if this rookie was going to be able to make some of those clutch kicks. Which, if you watch the Browns game, you probably know what the answer is on number 5 already. But one of the concerns. Let's talk about Brock Purdy right now. Okay, so we'll talk about some of the concerns and some of the reasons why some people might be panicking, and then we'll talk about why you shouldn't be panicking. Okay, so one of the things that has me concerned about the 49ers is that Brock Purdy is throwing what I call fall apart throws. That is whenever you see a quarterback who's just like not making like a misread, but he's throwing it. He looks like he's just falling apart. So, like, you might see somebody like Zach Wilson. He'll throw a touchdown. It looks like everything is going great. And then he'll throw an interception, and his confidence level gets so bad that he throws what I call fall apart throws, where I'm like, oh, that dude is falling apart today. That is starting to show a little bit with Brock Purdy. I saw that at the end of the Cleveland Browns game when they had an opportunity to win. He looked like he was getting kind of shaky. And then he had an opportunity towards the end of the Vikings game, and I'm like, oh, this dude is getting shaky again. And then at the end of this game, playing against the Bengals, he threw a pass across the middle of the field. I'm like, oh my gosh. So, the beginning of the second quarter, he threw a pass. I think it was like 10 minutes and 54 seconds left or something like that in the second quarter. He threw a pass across the middle of the field that probably should have been intercepted because it was a middle linebacker that he just totally missed. And it looked like I wouldn't say he was falling apart at that point, but it looked like he was getting kind of shaky. And then at the beginning of the fourth quarter, he threw an interception like right to the middle linebacker, hit him right in the chest, and that came after that crazy interception he threw toward like really close to the end zone. So I think the interception that he threw really close to the end zone, it messed with his mind a little bit. He started to get his confidence level started to drop. And then that, I think, impacted that interception where he hit the middle linebacker right in the chest. Like, it was square, like, right in his face or in his chest. So that's concerning. Like, when Brock Purdy played 14, 15 straight games and he looked like he was potentially an elite quarterback, and then all of a sudden he starts to throw these fall apart throws where I'm like, oh my gosh, like a seventh grader wouldn't do that. Like when he starts doing that, it's a little concerning. The defense, they like, I don't know what's going on as far as the run game goes, but they seem like they can't stop a nosebleed when it comes to the defense right now, especially on third down. I went and did some quick, I did just like some quick stat searching for just a little while before this video to see what they, because I watched the game, and sometimes like when you watch the game, it's not as bad as you think. So I went to see what the stats told me about their third down, just getting off the field, and they were 21st in the NFL in the last three games, and 21st just over the entire season so far on third downs, getting off the field. It seems like the last three games, whether it's third and 10, it could be third and 15, and they'll get a penalty for like illegal touching or something like that. 5 yards, automatic first down. Third and 10, they give up something right across the middle. So their third down has been looking crazy, and then also you've got somebody on the defensive end who, as far as I'm concerned, is stealing money. Bosa is out there looking like an average defensive end. He's stealing money right now. So those are the things I would be concerned about. Brock Purdy looking kind of shaky. Your defense. Okay, so let's talk about the reasons why you shouldn't be panicking right now. So the most important part of the video, why you should not be panicking. Okay, for one, this is still the same 49ers team with a couple of injuries actually. You know, you got Trent Williams, who's probably the best the best offensive lineman in the NFL. So you got Trent Williams, who's hurt right now, so that gives you a little bail. You also got my man Debo, my favorite player in the NFL. He's been hurt, and he does all kind of weird gadget plays that gets the defense off balance. So he's been out for the last couple of weeks. So this is still the team that beat the Cowboys by multiple scores. Like they made the Cowboys look like a Pee Wee League football team. And the Cowboys is a super talented team. So this is still the team that killed the Cowboys. Okay? And the Cowboys, as far as I'm concerned, they are super talented. So that's one thing. Two, the 49ers have been getting the worst breaks ever, it seems, these last few weeks. So the first, let's go on these losses in order because they lost 3 games in a row. So the first game, they just got off to a bad start, and they seemed like they were sleepwalking and couldn't figure it out. They were coming off the heels of beating the Cowboys, which was a big rivalry. Everybody was talking about it in the entire nation, and they ended up winning that game in crazy fashion. So obviously they were going to have a letdown against the Browns, and it showed. They were out there sleepwalking. And this is one of those things where it's like, comes down to the last drive. The offense gets it down the field. It's like, okay, we set up the game-winning field goal. Make this field goal, which is super makeable. I think it was like a 41-yarder or something like that. Make this easy, not easy. Make this makeable, because I couldn't make it. But make this makeable field goal for an NFL kicker. I would consider it being an average, maybe easy field goal. If you make that, it erases the entire game, and you say, okay, let's move forward. We were sleepwalking because we just got over this Cowboys high. And then we win this game, we can erase it and move on. And the kicker smoked it. So after that, then all of those things that happened in this Browns game, they're actually real, and they happen to carry over to the next game. So now all of those doubts that you might have picked up during the Browns game, they carry over to this Vikings game. All the doubts that you had in this Browns game, if you make that kick, they're erased. But since he missed it and you lose the game, now they carry over. So now you're playing against the Vikings, who's not, they have a bad record, but that's not a bad team. They got quite a bit of talent on that team. But the bad break in this game is you had Kirk Cousins looking like Peyton Manning over there. He was making every read he needed to make. When the blitz was in his face, he stood there and made a crazy pass on point every time. He eluded the defense, he eluded pass rushers, and made pinpoint passes every time. Kirk Cousins has been horrible in big-time games. This time, he played probably the best game he's ever played. Not just the best primetime game, but he probably played the best game of his career against the 49ers. He looked ridiculously good. And then Brock Purdy didn't look great in that game. And then you had to be matched up against the Bengals. If you don't know about the Bengals, every year with my man Joe Burrow, they start off slow and then they become world beaters after that. They cannot lose. So when I saw the 49ers were playing against the Bengals, I was like, oh, yeah, they're going to lose this game. I knew it. I'm not a betting man, but if I was, I would have put every dollar I had on the Bengals winning that game because they'll probably win, I don't know, probably 80% of the rest of their games, and they'll get to the playoffs, win the first round, and then lose. That's just how the Bengals get down. So the Browns game against the 49ers, you missed a field goal, bad break. Vikings, you played against Kirk Cousins, who was out there on steroids looking crazy good. I don't know where that Kirk Cousins came from. I don't think we'll ever see it again. I mean, he just tore his Achilles, so God bless him. But I don't think we'll ever see that level of Kirk Cousins ever again. Ever, ever again. Then the third bad break is that you played against the Bengals. Joe Burrow's on fire. They got their bad start out of the way. They lose, they always lose like 2 of the first 5 games. Or, I'm sorry, they always win only like 2 or 1 of the first 5 games. They get desperate and they just win the rest of them. They look like the best team in the NFL for the last, 10 to 12 games. So those are the reasons why I would not panic, man. You had some bad breaks. This is still the team that killed the Cowboys. This is still the team that ran through every team they played for the first few weeks. You got talent everywhere. Your defense is still talented. Once they get out of this bye week, come back, I think they'll look just fine. Nothing to panic about. Are there things to be concerned about? Heck yeah. But I wouldn't be concerned at all. So that's all I got for you today. Once again, this is Sports Truth. We're going to make a goal of getting 1,000 subscribers here. We're going to not try. I don't like the word try. I think losers try. Winners like us, we just do or we don't do. So what we're going to do is we're going to get 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. Being that tomorrow is November 1st, we've got 2 months to get there, and I'm sure that you'll help us get to that point. Make sure that you like the video, share with your friends, subscribe. God bless. Take care. I appreciate you watching the video. Peace.